Welcome to Monday ReTsene with Pretoria Psychologists. It is a new year, 2023. I'm glad you have made it to this side. I sure am glad that I have made it to the side of 2023. And it's good to be with you once again on this platform, your one-stop psychoeducation platform where we talk all things mental health and also just learning together. So I have introduced last year that we will be going live in some episodes, and if you can be so kind in your comments, in the description below, in the comments line, just to say what do you want us to be discussing in our live sessions, and also maybe who would you like to see being interviewed in our live sessions, maybe the peoples whose stories have impacted you over the years and you want to know more, you want to know how they have coped with things in terms of their own stories, and I think as psychologists we can do a good job in being able to extract those stories from them. With that, remember we have expanded our services to Emalahleni and will be expanding our services to many other locations, so keep the ear on the ground for wherever we're going to be in your locality. In this January, we are going to be mainly looking at children. So we're going to be tackling various themes or topics that are looking at children. Today, I want to look at parentified child. You might be asking yourself, what is a parentified child? Well, the term itself, I think it's self-explanatory, but I will go into a little bit of details in terms of what does that mean. When we talk about a parentified child, we speak about a child who takes on inappropriate responsibilities. So when we say inappropriate, we mean that those responsibilities are not age appropriate according to whatever they need to be at developmentally. Yes, children need to have responsibilities, doing their chores, washing dishes, making up their beds, picking up after themselves, cleaning, being involved in activities and social interactions. But there are certain responsibilities that are not for them to take on. And this is what we talk about when we say parentified child. So it's any duty that is not age appropriate according to that child's developmental stage. So things like paying bills, so those can be practical things like, lifting heavy things while their bodies are not yet developed to be able to lift those things, or even manual labor. So your child workers or child slaves, that is the manual work that we talk about, where maybe a child will have to, help with putting on tiles, but yet their bodies are not yet developed. And not to say that we do not need to transfer skill, or it's not a good thing to transfer skills when children are younger. It's very, very good, but we need to always look, is it developmentally appropriate for that child's age for them to do them? So I have mentioned the practical sense, and then we also have the emotional one, where now and there's a term that we call an emotional incest. That basically means that children, parents or adults in those children's life will inappropriately share with children things that are not supposed to be shared with them. Again, I'm not saying that we should not be open as parents to say where we are in our lives, where does the family go, or whatever it is that we need to be sharing. But there are things that we are not supposed to be sharing with parents, with children, because oftentimes then it brings about a guilt feeling, a feeling that they want to do something, and you find that they are helpless and hopeless in a particular environment where they think they should be doing more than what they are already doing, and offering more emotional support that they are supposed to be doing. Most of the time you find it in family structures where there's no boundaries, so where the boundaries are quite enmeshed and porous. I remember this other client that I had admitted a while back, and her mother called for her to be discharged, and we were not even had started with treatment. I think she was hardly there 3 or 4 days in the clinic, where I had seen her once or twice in our sessions to work. And, when I ask, how come you want to be discharged? She says, no, my mother says she needs me. So meaning that she had to pause her own healing the intervention that we're supposed to undergo as a 20-something-year-old so that she can be taking care of her mother's needs at that time. Was her mother in need? Yes, her mother was definitely in need, and she needed support, but that was also not, it was uncalled for her to want support from a child who already herself it's at her wit's end and is needing the psychological intervention. In a personal story, something had happened in our own household, and, I could see my kids being overly concerned about that particular situation, and I had to counsel them, and I said, no, this is something that I need to take care of, or this is something that another adult in your lives need to take care of, and it has nothing to do with you. Yes, I appreciate the fact that you are worrying, I appreciate the fact that you are concerned, but you must know that you need to be children. Why do we have to be concerned about parentified child or a parentified children? Most of the time, you find that in the adult stages, that particular person is unable to reach out for help, becomes hyper independent. There is nothing wrong with being independent as an individual or being resourceful as an individual, but when you are hyper independent and is unable to rally or even mobilize support from other people, that becomes problematic because you become more and more isolated, and whenever you are encountered with huge challenges, you feel like you are alone and you are unable to reach out to anybody because you are used to being the go-to person. You are used to being the one who solves other people's problems, and you have never learned for people to be helping you. The other aspect of it is identity crisis. So parentified children or adults who were parentified children struggles with their identity because, remember, they have skipped milestones, they have skipped developmental stages that were very important for them to say, okay, now I'm a child, I need to have free play, I need to have free time, instead of now having to work on a schedule. I need to cook for mom, I need to clean for my siblings, I need to take care of them, I need to make sure that my siblings are safe, and that person now struggles with the identity in a place where other people have gone through those milestones, and you find a 50-year-old that wants to be a 16-year-old or a 40-year-old that wants to be a 9-year-old, throws tantrums, wants to play instead of taking responsibilities that they're supposed to be taking in their own lives. If you are identifying yourself, maybe you are a child as a parentified child, or even as an adult identifying yourself as having been a parentified child, and some of those things might even be traumatic because you might have been exposed to things that you were not even supposed to be exposed to. There is help in just being able to work through that trauma, to be able to work through that crisis of stages and identity, and to say, who am I? What do I want? What are my needs? Because again, as a parentified child, you needed to always have to put your needs at the back. Your needs seemed to not be important. Your needs were not regarded as important, and meaning that you took just anything that could be handed to you, and you could not even express yourself or voice yourself. So oftentimes, again, your voice is silenced and you are unable to express your needs. And that can also be very problematic, especially in relationship, and more so in romantic relationships or even work relationships. So with this little Monday ReTsene nugget, I'm saying that if you identify yourself in either being the child in the situation or even as an adult in a situation where you have been a parentified child, come and express yourself in a non-judgmental environment, in an environment where we can be able to understand and unravel and help you now to reconcile yourself from that child and redeem that child, and now be able to acknowledge the stages that you are in. With that, we'll see you next Monday on another episode of Monday ReTsene. This is me, Ndala-Magoro, signing out.